Okay, so it seems that we have some pretty big news coming from Mythic Talent and Siren. Now, if you don't know, obviously recently we covered the fact that Filian had actually left Mythic a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, this was due to, I'm pretty sure, a lot of the VTuber Awards stuff which went on and the interactions with Russian VTubers and things. But I don't know if this is going to be related or not, because obviously Mythic, or not Mythic, well, more Siren announced today that as of today, I'm no longer with Mythic Talent. Thank you for the past 2 years. Now, obviously, yeah, this is pretty sudden news. Obviously, Mythic has been taking on a ton of VTuber creators. If not, they've become their own kind of like pseudo VTuber agency, you know. Not that they, you know, run it like a VTuber agency. They literally just like do a lot of sponsorship things and also help them out of events, stuff like that. But essentially, yes, Siren announced that she's no longer a part of Mythic Talent. And she actually goes on stream to talk about this because many people have been speculating about why this could be, or if there's some malicious reason. And well, it seems like there might be something interesting going on behind the scenes, but obviously we still don't really have a full answer yet. But literally, I went through her VOD because obviously she is actually live right now, and she actually talked about this live on stream, where she essentially discusses her kind of relationship with Mythic and, you know, who left who decided to leave. Was it, you know, did she get kicked out? Did she leave? Whatever. Again, this kind of answers it all. So here is the clip.
So, yeah. My relationship with Mythic is okay. You know, I still hope like Mythic does well, especially since like a lot of my friends are in it. I lost track of like who owns it, but I'm friends with like some of the owners, so I hope for like their success and stuff. I just left for reasons I won't say, but you guys, you know, should just keep an eye out on all the things that happen from now on. You know, so yeah, I just, you know, like, we're okay. Just, you know, just cheer me on from now on. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So yeah, that is essentially obviously one of the reasons she talked about as to why she left. She says that obviously she can't really discuss the reason why, which is very interesting because obviously, you know, usually a lot of people are transparent with why they left, and they're just like, oh, okay, I wasn't getting enough sponsors or whatever, something along those lines. But this time she says that obviously she doesn't really want to say, which is obviously totally fine. She's within her right to say that. But obviously she also mentions afterwards to keep an eye on things afterwards. Now, I don't know if she's saying keep an eye on me afterwards and what I'm doing and what I'm doing on stream because I'm going to continue streaming, right? But is she kind of mentioning keep an eye on Mythic Talent? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, at least that's what I kind of gathered from it, that she could be talking about Mythic Talent and seeing what happens with them in the future, and potentially something that could be going on behind the scenes with that. Obviously, she says she's still on pretty good terms with them, and she knows some of the owners of Mythic Talent and hopes that they do good. So I don't think it's going to be anything like nuclear level, like we've seen with like, you know, VShojo and things where things blew up. But it definitely seems like there was some kind of disagreement, or maybe some kind of thing that happened behind the scenes that obviously she's not very comfortable with talking about, which, you know, obviously could come out from other people in the future. So I think it is one of these things where we've got to keep an eye on a lot of the VTubers that are a part of Mythic Talent, and whether, you know, they are going to be leaving as well, or whether, you know, there is any more people leaving Mythic Talent. She also mentions earlier on in the stream as well that Siren was never actually announced for Mythic Talent. Usually Mythic actually make these like posts where they announce people joining. For example, like Water Lynn here, obviously she joined the other day, right? They usually make these little posts being like, hey, they've joined, everyone go support them, stuff like that. Siren never actually had one though. She couldn't find it. So again, it is pretty interesting to see that. And obviously I feel like, you know, maybe she wasn't treated as well as maybe some of the other kind of talent over there, which I do think is interesting, but obviously there could be a reason. They could have literally just forgot. I mean, you know, it's totally plausible. So it is pretty interesting. So obviously from now on, Siren will not be a part of Mythic Talent. And she did also mention earlier on in the stream as well that the majority of her interactions with Mythic were to do with just sponsors, like getting up sponsors, getting like mid-rolls or streams or whatever to kind of do ads. for, and obviously that was mainly it. She said mostly, so obviously there was a little bit that probably wasn't, but again, you know, that was the main kind of job that they were doing behind the scenes. Obviously, for example, we talked about Filian. Mythic were more involved with a lot more of events, as well as probably sponsors as well. So again, some people have a different kind of relationship with Mythic whenever it comes to whatever they do, and obviously, yeah, it seems like they are starting to, you know, have a lot of people leave them. Obviously, we saw, as I said, Filian. We've also had Saiiren, and now obviously we had a Tectone as well, who actually decided to, I don't know if he left them as a company, but he definitely left them as a kind of representative of the company, obviously due to a lot of the stuff that has been going on recently. So yeah, it seems like they are losing some people recently. People have been talking about this over on Kurosanji, saying, damn, hope everything's okay, that I legitimately have no idea who this is. Obviously, yeah, Saiiren was someone who got very popular over COVID. I remember her, I think she was on the Minecraft server with a lot of the VShojo girls at one point, which is what I mainly remember her from. So again, people have been talking about this. You know, many people also I've seen were talking about, for example, like viewership, right? You know, Mythic has a very high bar whenever it comes to accepting people in terms of viewership. So people were thinking, oh, maybe because she hasn't got that boost from COVID, that maybe they let her go. But no, it seems like from what she's saying, she decided to leave on her own terms, and that she decided to leave for her own reasons, and she wasn't, you know, booted. And also, I actually checked her Twitch tracker. She's actually going up in viewerships. Like, she's been getting like a K like every single stream so far, or at least max viewers, okay? So again, you know, she's well within the requirements, so it isn't anything to do with that. Obviously, as well, if we just go to the creator tab, they have a ton of different VTubers, which obviously we need to keep an eye out for to see if anything else, you know, does kind of occur, and if anybody else does leave. Obviously, for example, Annie is there, you know, Camilla's there, Chacha's there, Chibi's there. You know, a lot of the big VTubers are there. You know, you got Sayu, False ID, you got Feifei. You know, there's many big VTubers. Most of the big VTubers, if they're not, essentially, if they're an indie VTuber and are not in a, you know, obviously not in an organization or anything like that, they're probably with Mythic, or at least in the process of getting with Mythic. Again, obviously, apart from maybe the VShojo girls, because obviously they've recently just lost, you know, obviously their agency. But again, obviously you got Nyanas, you know, Nux, OK Code, you know, so many VTubers, Shy Lily, Silverveil, Rima, Saraway, you know, so many big VTubers that are with Mythic still. And obviously, yeah, as I said, it's going to be interesting to see if there is any kind of, you know, something going on there, because again, you know, there was that one comment which made me a little bit skeptical, because obviously, you know, just being like, okay, we're moving on, you know, we don't really need to talk about it again. But also at the same time, she did say, keep an eye out for what happens, which has me very intrigued. Again, you know, maybe she'll clarify that later on, what she really meant by that, whether she just meant keep an eye on her, or whether she meant keep an eye on the situation over at Mythic. I'm not sure, but obviously I will be keeping an eye on this and keeping you guys up to date if there's any kind of people leaving, any kind of murmurs of stuff going on. Because again, obviously, she is not very comfortable with obviously saying the reason why she's left and why she decided to leave. Which has obviously intrigued me and a lot of people more into what's going on. And obviously I pray that it isn't anything bad, because, you know, we all know terrible things have happened with agencies recently. I'm not saying that Mythic is, you know, doing anything on that level at all. And I really hope that they haven't done anything at all. I hope that this is just a kind of mix up in speech or whatever. Maybe she just decided to leave because whatever. But again, obviously I'm just presenting a lot of the information that she has said. And obviously, guys, you heard that clip. So that is what she had to say on why she left Mythic Talent. But yeah, obviously a lot of people are hoping that she's okay, and hopefully she can continue on to, you know, doing some good stuff, and hopefully she can get some good sponsors in, even without a talent agency, which obviously is, yeah, pretty interesting, because obviously there must have been some kind of reason there, because, I mean, you know, Mythic is probably one of the best talent places that you really want to go to get, you know, offers and stuff for sponsors, so it wouldn't really make much sense to leave, but obviously it seems like something might have gone on to kind of cause that, whether it's, you know, super mild or super big, you know, we don't know. We'll have to find out. We'll have to keep an eye on the situation and just, yeah, monitor it. But yeah, that's essentially all we got for this situation. Again, I just kind of wanted to keep you guys up to date, as this literally dropped like 30 minutes ago. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Obviously, Siren is continuing to stream. She's not stopping or anything. This isn't like a VTuber graduation. Obviously, Mythic is a talent company, not a VTuber agency, despite how many VTubers they do have. She's playing Minecraft right now. She's chilling. Her chat are doing good. So obviously go and support her if you want to go and check out her content, because again, she does a lot of cool stuff over there too. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code KAZO, get 10% off again. They've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.